Have we gone crazy? An entire episode dedicated to the weirdest individuals of the Star Wars universe. All that today on Chatter Squadron.
Glad I'm not buying that brand again.
Put that there for now.
Put that there for now, okay?
Okay.
Put that there for now.
Put that there for now. Over there.
Put that there for now. Put that there for now.
Put that
there for now.
Over there.
Put that there for now.
On the ceiling.
Put that there for now.
On the couch. Put that there for now. On the porch. Put that there for now. In the pond. Underwater. With bricks in their pockets. Let them sink into the darker depths. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chatter Squadron. This is Mike Calhoun. Oh, goodness. Sat across from Tyler Bucks and Jonny Trowbridge. It's been so nice to see you guys.
What do you think of my eyes?
Ooh, let me count them first.
Okay.
1, 2. You know what? They look great.
You should stop at 2.
I will.
Thank you.
I won't reveal the secrets to anyone.
Yeah, for the audience, they're beautiful, glowing, yellow eyes.
Hey,
Several of them.
Surrounded by wrinkly gray skin.
Oh.
Looks like it's been plagued by something.
Looks like it's been
It's
plagueist by something.
disfigured.
Did Plagueis ever get the yellow eye thing? I don't think we've seen enough context images of him.
Is that a solely Sith thing? Do they always get the yellow
You're the one that
eyes?
always brings it up, to be honest.
And you're the one who has them. So you should be able to tell
yeah,
us.
you should tell us.
I'll tell you right now, this is just a pigmentation thing. It's called reverse albino.
So your eyes go yellow.
Is that
and
like
you look
reverse
like a Sith
osmosis?
What?
Is that like reverse osmosis?
Yeah, have you ever had reverse osmosis water?
I've had osmosis water.
You can only drink reverse osmosis when you're a reverse albino.
You can only drink it in reverse.
Yeah, you have to actually puke it back up, then drink it again.
Oh my gosh. This is
my
your
goodness.
weekly,
It's really a hell of a life.
Yeah, that is something going on. With
this is your weekly
body.
dose of Star Wars fun, positivity, and reverse osmosis water talk.
Strange biological problems.
How was your week? How was your week, Johnny? It was the 4th.
It was the 4th of July. It was great. There was fireworks around.
Just all around you. You're slightly
I was
burned.
trapped in a chair, and they set them in a circle around me, and they kept lighting them
Did
up.
it
and I was
like-
like,
Good heavens.
come on, little brother, let me out. And they were like, he's like, this is what you get, Mokuba.
Did it leave you horribly disfigured? And you told told that to the Senate?
And
For
I had to wear a white mask on half of my face.
Oh my gosh, and live in an opera house.
Yeah.
For some reason, when you said that you were forced to sit in a chair and they put fireworks around you, I thought they were trying to exorcise some sort of patriotic demon. I was like, oh, good heavens.
Get the patriotism out of you.
All demons are patriotic.
Extremely patriotic.
Wow. And well, how was your 4th? Calhoun, try and top that.
Oh, man. I didn't do anything fun on the 4th. Well, actually, no, I did some fun. I went to the beach with our mutual friend, Stevie James.
Stephen
friends.
James.
Did you
Stephen
know him?
James, yes.
Did you build a sandcastle?
We didn't. It was far too hot and the sand was far too dry.
Do you think that
unfortunately.
people build Floyd Wright houses now because castles are kind of out of vogue?
Are you talking Floyd Wright or Frank Floyd Wright?
I don't know the reference.
the last
Floyd
one.
Wright.
The Floyd Wright house, Falling Water.
Don't know it.
I'm the only one with culture.
I've been
so
I've
sorry.
been to Falling Water,
Okay, then
Yeah.
I've
but I
seen
have no
Falling
clue
Water.
what the heck you're talking about.
I've been to Niagara
No,
Falls.
instead of building castles, they build sand Floyd Wright house.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
I get it.
It was a terrible
bourgeois.
joke. Let's move on.
Hey,
Sorry.
you know what? I'm sure someone out there is rolling.
Rolling.
They're like some architect
They're like,
student.
Oh, Floyd Wright.
Oh man! And next he's gonna make a Guggenheim reference, and that's really gonna get me.
I mean, you did just make the
Hey, what can I say? All right, let's get into
What did
the-
you do this week?
Yeah. What
Oh
did
my
you do?
gosh! What was my
now we're
birth?
putting
It
him
was
on
my
the spot.
birthday on the 3rd,
Well,
and
happy
I
birthday.
turned 46.
Oh, very good.
And
You're
You
doing
don't look a
great.
day over 12.
wow. You know what? I don't currently.
I can't believe he was allowed to get married.
They
They're like, oh, 45.
They had
That's gross.
They had one of those sticks at roller coasters. They're like, yeah, you're kind of close.
They were dressed like that too. They had it said,
pastor.
it said Cedar Point, and then underneath it said Father Tom, and he had his rod, and he was just like, ooh,
One of those swirly curly king
yeah,
rods.
if you want to ride the marriage ride, you gotta.
He had a crazy rod that told that somehow measured how old you were.
Yeah.
You stood next to it, and it
was
like
the shape of a
If
cross.
you would have been 1 inch taller, you could have got super married.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow!
Super married is next level. Yeah, you got to pay 80 extra bucks for that.
I was
though,
close. I
for the
was
day
so
pass.
close to super married.
Oh,
But no,
man.
then on the 4th, we hung out with a bunch of my family, and we played basically summer camp style games, like
Twister.
Three-legged race.
sort of like taking ice cubes and dropping them into like a bucket, or like throwing like little glow bracelets onto an American flag. Like it was
funny.
it was pretty crazy. It was insane. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Got pretty cutthroat.
And it ended with us lighting a bunch of fireworks in a circle around some guy in a chair that's tied to it with a bag over his head, and it was great.
Wait, were you wearing a purple suit and carrying a silver briefcase and talking about the most expensive cards?
Oh my! No, I was wearing a purple suit and saying that some people just want to watch the world burn. Hey, let's move on to the news. How about that?
That sounds good.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Star Wars La Resistance again. We haven't talked about Star Wars La Resistance in a while.
It's been a few episodes.
I think it's Le Resistance
Resistance?
It would be
because
you're right.
it's male.
True.
How,
But
did you
it-
just assume
it does-
this title's gender?
Well, the noun is male.
Okay, we get it, Johnny. Get off of your
He's-
burning
Yeah.
chair.
Get out of here, Guggenheim.
Wow.
I don't even know that reference.
The Guggenheim is the
I know what it
okay,
is.
well, hey,
Move on.
I'm trying to be a helpful guy. Anyway, okay. So recently Disney revealed some art. I don't know if you guys saw the art for Resistance.
No. Oh, I see.
Well, they didn't really release this.
No.
It seems like it was a thing where there was a conference or something like that, and someone who wasn't supposed to take a picture took a picture.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Forces of Destiny, that one that's out now.
Yeah, sort of, and it has like a Rebels kind of feel. It looks like Borderlands to me in terms of
Cel-shaded.
yeah, and it has like
cel-shaded.
the hard lines. But yeah, and people are making jokes because a lot of people are like, "Oh, did you see the art? Did you see the art?" When it's literally just like someone took a picture from the side of a
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So if you see it, that's what you'll see. But let's see, Disney made many Star Wars fans very excited a while back. Blah blah blah. Let's get away from that.
Do you happen to know what event this was at, though? Like where this supposed picture was taken from?
Well, I know the person who posted it was named Yak Face.
Nice. We can
So-
ask
The
all
Yak
of you
Face?
if you want to know. You got to ask Yak Face.
From yakface.com. Let's see.
Jackface.com.
Seriously, yakface.com.
Oh, okay. So it's a publication.
Yeah.
I might look it up. But what do they
Um,
say about it?
Let's see. Nothing. I clicked onto this because it was talking about the what's that called? The release date too.
Oh,
And
that's
they're
actually
just,
exciting.
They're just jumping all over the place. I should have proofread this, but I know from offhand. There it is. That the animated series is set to premiere on Disney XD in October. So already October.
That's really quick.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Solo was so soon.
They needed to get to the other stories or something.
Yeah, maybe, but I feel like they're separate. I don't know.
Good point. It's a fair point.
Oh, okay.
It would be a nightmare to try and be the person that's scheduling all the releases,
Oh,
knowing
man.
a timeline.
And then everyone blames you when when something goes bad.
It looks like that tweet that was originally sent out was deleted because someone was probably like, "Don't post that." But of course, it's already online all over the place. But if you haven't seen the art, what we can see is Captain Phasma with a couple First Order troopers. They look a little different, if you can see. Do you see, like...
Yeah, they look... It's a slightly different design.
They look
Is that
almost like-
Phasma, are you sure?
They kind of look sad.
Well, yeah, they announced that Phasma and
okay.
Gwendolyn Christie would be in the show.
In the
So
show.
I'm guessing that kind of, like, darker figure in the middle. They kind of look like bulldogs.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, like,
They've got
kinda
like that
smushed face.
band across their nose of their helmet.
And then we see, like, probably the first glimpse of the ragtag team. You got the main character in the middle. That's Poe Dameron. I'm taking a big guess. And then some other newer characters.
There's a Rhodian in there, right?
Yeah, maybe.
For once, I just want a
Oh,
regular
no.
team, not a ragtag one.
Yeah. Yeah, can't we get some professionals here?
Well, that's
Even
true.
the bounty hunters that are in Star Wars, like you think that they're professionals and they turn out to be idiots.
They're all ragtag.
Well, even in Aftermath, it's like they turn into a ragtag team.
You're like,
just
can-
kind of hodgepodged.
I just want a bunch of people who are identical in facial structure.
That are all, they all sound similar.
They
They
all
take
sound similar.
orders
The
well.
same way. They have white armor.
I was about to say, you're sounding a lot like stormtroopers. So yeah, that's the point of this whole thing is that it's coming out in October, which is cool.
Yeah. And they say it's coming out on the streaming service?
Well,
Or it's
they
just coming
said
out?
Disney XD,
Oh,
which
okay.
is their
Yeah, so
their
sure.
other channel. But my guess is once they start to, roll out the streaming service, we're going to see more of shows that are on their main channels kind of make the jump, or you can listen. You can watch the first season on the streaming service, and it's like on season 2 or whatever. I don't know.
Did you guys see the trailer for Wreck-It Ralph 2?
Yeah,
I did,
with,
yeah.
With the stormtroopers.
with the
in?
stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about that?
I think that they're trying to fit every reference they can. And
That's
they,
what I was
They
thinking.
should.
And I think it's
That's
fine.
I
Why
think
not?
that's what Wreck-It Ralph is trying to do. Is just like cram in.
I mean, they had all the Disney princesses too.
yeah,
That
they
was honestly the best part of the trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
Cinderella smashing her glass
She's
slipper
about
to,
to stab
About to
stab
shank
someone.
her.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. The best. It's the best.
that movie will probably be really good.
Yeah.
I hope
I'll
so.
go see it.
I've actually never seen the first Wreck-It
You should
Ralph.
see it. It's actually very good.
Neither have I. Is it neither or neither?
It could be
It's
both.
either. Or either.
It is either or either.
Let's talk about Carrie Russell. So this was a thing news-wise that Carrie Russell had been brought on to act in episode 9. And a lot of people were talking about it like, oh, it's crazy. But I don't know her from really anything. I haven't watched Felicity. I haven't watched The Americans. I didn't watch... I knew what August Rush was. Like, so a lot of the stuff that she was in, I didn't really know. But Calhoun, you've said you've seen her act before?
Yeah. Well, now I'm looking up. I looked up her IMDb when we mentioned her, and I never watched Felicity or The Americans either. But apparently, she's been nominated for stuff in The Americans. But I know her from just movie roles like We Were Soldiers. What's another one I've seen?
Well, there's Mission
Arrested
Impossible.
Development.
Mission
She was in
Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Right.
Yeah, when you showed me her, I had like an Elrond from Fellowship of the Ring moment, and I was like, I know your face.
So
It's true. He said that in a whispering, echoing tone.
Yeah, I did.
she's an experienced actress. I'm excited to see what she does.
Actually, Johnny, do that whisper again.
I know your face.
Oh.
That's not from Fellowship, is it?
No, I
That's
know
from
your
Return of the
face is
King.
from something
It's
else.
from Return of the King.
Yes,
I think
that
that's-
was King Theoden.
That's right. What am I doing?
And I just
I
gave
need
you
to- I
the
need to
elf.
leave.
I just gave you the elf echo for no reason.
No, that was
he had
that was a good.
He had a
echo.
little bit of a weird reverb.
It was Eowyn and Theoden. You're right. Okay. Dang it. And that was Two Towers. Dang it.
wrong on all accounts, Your Honor.
Anyway, CNET was reporting the actress who just finished 6 seasons of The Americans and is well known for playing the title role in Felicity, is reportedly in talks for an action-oriented role in Star Wars Episode 7, according to Variety. The publication claims the role involves fight scenes and claims director J.J. Abrams and Lucasfilm execs chose Russell just before the 4th of July. So the thing about this is she's kind of an established actress. So anytime someone, who's established is brought on, you have to assume they're going to be something of merit. You know what I mean?
Isn't this movie coming out next year?
I think next winter.
Are they just picking the people now?
It might be a role similar to that of Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It could be a significant role that needs acting chops, but only has 5-6 scenes.
Okay.
And they're like, well, we know that we're not going to film those scenes until the end of the year because we haven't built those sets yet. So we'll cast that person when we come to it. And now they have.
For hype.
Maybe it's maybe she's going to play Mrs. Snoke. And she's going to come home from going to get groceries and is going to be like,
Who made this mess?
yes, exactly. I'm not going to be cleaning this up. Snoke, where are you? Oh, Snoke, no.
She finds
Yeah.
And that's it.
her husband cut in half. And that's the end. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we move on.
No, that's how the movie ends.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an overhead shot of her yelling at the ceiling. I like it.
That's
I was
still
trying to-
on fire.
I was trying to imagine some sort of Metal Gear Solid connection.
Snoke?
They're like
Snoke.
they're like calling her. And
Yeah.
Snoke.
I
I think that would be fun.
Metal Gear Solid. Wait, was it? What was one of
His
the
name
names?
was Solid Snake. So
Solid Snoke.
Who's the guy who could do cartwheels?
What? There was several people that could do cartwheels. You mean the acrobatic guy in the games?
Yeah,
The kid? I don't know what his name was.
I don't know.
They all had
There
secret
was a guy.
names.
There's a level where he's naked and he's doing cartwheels.
Sorry,
Which was that?
I was drinking some of my antioxidant drink that Johnny got me, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Who's that guy that could do cartwheels?"
I don't know. What is it? A clown? An
Yeah,
acrobat?
some guy
And the
named Dave who lives a couple blocks from here.
My roommate.
Never mind.
Most people can do cartwheels.
Do you really think that the majority of Earth can do a cartwheel?
No, he was naked. He had his hands handcuffed in front of him, and you were in a sewer, and you just did cartwheels down the sewer.
Dude, what?
Okay, let's finish off the news section by saying this. If true, and these talks lead to the casting, Russell would be reuniting with Abrams, the latter having created Felicity and directed 2006's Mission Impossible 3, where Russell starred as Lindsay Ferris. Variety says 2 more roles are also likely to be cast when production begins later this month.
Nice.
Cool.
So, like you were saying, Calhoun, it might be a thing of JJ, like there's some small role, like you said, a couple scenes, and JJ.
She could be like, I fully expect we're going to see a lot more resistance fighters. So she could be like another resistance leader or something
Right.
like that.
It'd be
or she could
interesting-
be an Imperial. Who knows?
Right, it'd be interesting to see her. Take off a mask and she's a Knight of Ren. I don't know.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Do go on.
All sorts of cool stuff.
yeah, so
Especially
that's-
if she's doing combat. I know she does some combat stuff in The Americans.
Yeah.
She's some
With a
sort of-
K, combat.
Yes, she does some Mortal Kombat.
She does some Mortal Kombat. For the longest time, and this is a testament to being homeschooled, I thought combat was spelled with a K
because of
Mortal Kombat. And then I just didn't get it. I'm like, why the heck? Why would it be spelled differently?
Right.
Well, the letter C is a redundancy that needs to be eliminated. But let's move on.
Whoa. I see what you mean. All right.
Oh.
Let's move on to our discussion period. Once again, we're going to be talking about weird characters of Star Wars. This seems something right up our alley that we may do more of as time goes on.
I think we should. There's
There
plenty
is
of them.
there is a character that I'm going to bring up that I thought like, okay, this would be funny because a lot of people know him. And as I did a deeper dive, I cannot wait to tell you guys about him. And I just want to give a small preface that if you're younger and you're listening to this show, you may learn a new word that you might have to ask your parents about. It's not going to be dirty. It's not going to be like a swear word or anything, but it's going to be. You'll see what I mean when we get there.
I think I know what's coming, but
so,
okay, cool.
And then with that being said as well, anger is abound with us because somebody has taken over the tiny chair of tiny victories
Why
from
didn't
Yub
we
Nub.
mention this at the top of the show?
Because I want to forget
understand.
about it,
This
but
is my fault.
they're here. The person says they're trying to make up for it. They say fun, clever, informative, and then it cuts off there.
That's good.
This is El Coses 1022. They said, put that bone in Calhoun.
Oh my! We said not to say that.
We specifically said not to say that in the ad.
I said, don't say this
Right.
in the review because people might get confused.
Exactly.
Oh,
And they try and cover up with it too. They said, parentheses, did Siri spell that right? It did spell it right. And then we were sitting here, we were enjoying a great time with Yub Nub.
We were having such a good time.
We look away for 1 second because there was a shiny Pidgey on the windowsill.
I saw it,
and
yeah.
then we came back, and all of a sudden this guy's here saying, put that bone in Calhoun.
dang it!
And they didn't even put a comma there.
No comma. That's the whole point.
Right, put
Now
that-
people will completely misunderstand you.
Put that bone in Calhoun because I needed a new bone.
It was a command. It was a
Exactly.
request.
Exactly.
And now people just want to put bones inside of my body.
Right, and you have enough bones. You
I have so many
200
bones.
and whatever.
Yeah, I counted them over the week.
Yeah, how many?
And on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
As you do
To make
every
sure.
year.
Yeah, as I do as
Everyone,
a tradition.
the census, the bone census.
Yeah. I filled out my paperwork and I sent it to the
bone
Bone Society.
The Bone Society. Oh my God.
I sent it to the Bone Society.
The Bone Street Posse.
So
The BS.
I am Bones and Jonesin. I am straight up good with bones, guys. I don't need any more bones. So
Right.
as much as who is this again? Excuse me.
I was a little
koshish.
El
It's
Coaches,
as good
whatever
as
it
it
is. Right.
I appreciate the thought,
Right.
but we told you not to.
So
and you did it anyway.
Here's what we are telling you to do is go give us a 5-star rating and a review and dethrone L whatever this person's name is. You don't even have a name,
I'm
sir.
just so mad right now.
Right.
I'm just fuming.
We're just going to call you the boneless one.
Do you want me to print out my bone certificate as proof?
Yes, we do.
I was a little short. I probably need the bone.
I'm gonna go get it.
He probably, yeah. Johnny's last bone census, he was like 5 bones off.
I was 5 bones short.
It's a huge
And there were no,
file.
I have a lot of bone debt right
there
now.
were no bones about
They're
it.
very unforgiving regarding that.
Okay,
Yeah, they
let's
are.
go talk about weird characters.
Hey, it's me, Macho Man Randy Savage, right here on the surface of Tatooine. It's hot on the surface, and it's hot all over my body, because I'm the hottest thing on Tatooine, in the universe, in the multiverse. Oh yeah. And while I'm hot here, I'm going to be following Chatter Squadron on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and oh, I don't forget I follow Chatter Squadron on Twitter. And I'm going to do it right now, and I'm going to do it the best in the entire universe. I'm here smoking hotter than Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. Oh yeah. And before I forget, I'm going to give a 5-star rating on iTunes, and I'm going to say the Macho Man, the cream of the crop, the world champion, sent me here to do one thing, to give you guys a hot 5-star rating and a hot 5-star review. Oh yeah.
Everyone listen.
Listening, sir.
Yes, here I am listening.
I'm the clone teacher.
Okay,
I know you've been staring at those weird iPads for 3 hours,
Yes.
with my headset on, yes.
but now it's time to learn arithmetic.
Arithmetic.
take out your abacus.
Okay, I have my abacus out.
My abacus is just like his abacus.
And throw it in the garbage. Forget everything you knew about abacuses.
I'll give you an abacus.
What if there was like a motivational speaker to the clones? He's like, forget everything you... And they don't know anything because they're just clones.
And he can't say things like, "You're special. No one else in the world is like you."
Yeah, he's like, motivational speaker. And he's like...
I just imagine all these clones coming out of these tubes, like, what am I? Who am I? And they're just sitting in front of like a Steve Jobs character going, forget everything you know about everything. They're like, done.
What? Done.
Easily
Got it.
done.
All right. Welcome back to Chatter Squadron. We're having a good old time here.
Yeah.
It's not as hot as it was last week. I'm just going to throw
beautiful
that out
day.
there.
That was
outside.
unbearable.
It truly was. We were like
Our brains were baking.
dripping sweat, just screaming and singing the whole time.
Do you want to start us off? Yeah, we're like, of course, this episode, we're just kind of chilling back, talking about weird characters. Last episode, we're like,
Yeah.
This one is pretty chill, and
Laid back.
I'll get the chill started. All right, since we're talking about obscure characters, we looked at an article that you had written very long time ago, far away.
Can I
Mention it if you
thank
want.
you for reminding me. So, about a year ago, a little more so, I was brought on to write for StarWarsTheory.com. That's connected with the YouTube channel Star Wars Theory. And the first ever article I wrote was 10 weird EU characters. So we kind of looked off of that. For this episode, we have a couple entries from that. But yeah, it's been a year since I got kind of put into this position, helping manage pages and whatnot, and then had the idea to start a podcast. That podcast was a failure, and then we started this podcast.
That was a complete failure.
Yeah, no, so this is kind of like a Genesis type thing.
Like an anniversary little thing, little
Yeah,
celebration. Well, this is
exactly.
exciting.
And if you want to look that up, just type in weird EU characters and then Star Wars Theory, and that's the first thing that'll come up.
Or is it top 10? Should they look up top 10? Or is it just weird?
If you just put weird EU characters and
Right on.
Star Wars Theory, it'll come up.
It was the
Yeah,
first
so-
one that came up for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Check out that list. I pulled my first one
You can
from
see-
said list.
You can see how I progressed as a writer.
I actually encourage everyone to look up these guys so you can have a visual.
Especially for Valentine Farfalla.
Yes. Is it Valentine or is it just a unique spelling? All right, I'll just say it. Valentine or Valentine Farfalla is spelled Valenthyne. It's very bourgeois.
It's like thyme, almost, the herb.
The second that I saw him and I started like reading like the first sentence, I was like, this guy's the Booster Gold of the expanded universe. If you don't know what Booster Gold is, you're not a DC fan enough to know, and you don't have to look him up because it's useless. But he's this very, very, very vain character covered in gold, and he's obsessed with being better than Superman. Anyway, so Valentine Farfalla is half Bothan, half human, and what I got from that is Both are kind of like goats, hairy, goatish kind of characters.
Which
and so he
is
has
weird.
Like, yeah, so he kind of looks just like a centaur. He looks like a.
Sweet.
Doesn't he have horns too?
I none of the images I saw.
Okay.
If they are, they're small.
Okay.
This guy
But his
sounds
dad
freaking
didn't seem to have
awesome.
them. But he's blonde. He's tall. He's half human, half Both. And in his bio, it said his eye color is red, which I saw no evidence of
Yeah.
in any images in the comic books or the fan art. All of them were blue eyes because he's like a pretty boy. He looks like Jaime Lannister with goat legs and a lightsaber.
Go Jamie Lannister.
He, for the context of this, he was a Jedi Master and a Jedi Lord. Now, a Jedi Lord was the title of a Jedi who chose to defend a world that was unprotected by the Galactic Republic between 1100 and 1000 BBY. So this was a long, long time ago.
He in a galaxy far, far away. He didn't have horns. I looked it up, but that's how he looks, Johnny.
Oh my God.
So he's got like this,
glorious.
yeah, he's got this like princely band, like a crown on his forehead, and his flowing locks of yellow hair.
Glorious.
So let me just get started here. Valentine Farfalla was born the son of a Jedi Lord and eventually inherited his father's lordship. He served under Jedi Master Hoth, like the planet, and Hoth was leading the war campaign against the Brotherhood of Darkness on planet Rusan. When the battles forced Hoth to send for reinforcements, Valentine volunteered. He suspected that it was Master Hoth's abrasiveness that caused so few Jedi to sympathize with their cause in the first place. His mission was to rally the Jedi that did not choose to follow them initially. So Valentine Farfalla was a fierce warrior, but he was also skilled in diplomacy. He used both to first lead the remaining Jedi on a mission to overthrow a king that was allied with the Sith. This was like during the Sith Wars and when there was tons of Sith, like I said, about 1,000 years ago. Then, after he defeated the king's forces, he converted his forces to his cause, leading those 300 Jedi along with those soldiers back to planet Rusan. His victories alongside with Hoth were brief, though, because they had a spat after Hoth lost a comrade and blamed Farfalla. So they were pursuing Lord Khan, who was the leader of the Brotherhood of Darkness, and what they did was they followed their. Hoth chose to follow the Brotherhood into a trap, holed up in some caves. Is that where we're getting at? Yes. Lord Khan, that's correct. After they captured the Brotherhood leader, Lord Kopech, the Lord told Farfalla that the thought bomb trap was going to occur. Thought bomb we talked about before with Darth Bane.
Exactly.
But that was actually a trap set up to stop Master Hoth and his 100 soldiers. Turns out Hoth knew the whole time. He knew the whole time. He just told Farfalla to leave and escape while he could before the thought bomb was detonated, which it did. And it killed all 100 members of the Army of Light. Yeah. I had to laugh in his story. He's involved in something called the Army of Light versus the Brotherhood of Darkness. Oh, boy.
What kind of army is only 100 people?
It was Jedi, and they were the only ones that volunteered.
It was a lot of other people escaped. It wasn't just 100 people.
Yeah, there was tons that escaped.
It was like people who, because sorry to interject.
No, go ahead.
Battle between the Army of Light and the Brotherhood of Darkness was a very, very long one.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that went with Hoth were the people were like, "We'll follow you anywhere," type thing. Like he couldn't tell them to stay and leave or whatever. Like it was that type of thing.
Yeah, Master Hoth and Farfalla actually had been fighting on planet Rusan together for quite some time.
Yep.
The reason they needed to go get reinforcements, I didn't include this, was just because it was becoming a stalemate. They were coming to kind of a plateau. So after Hoth's death, Farfalla became the commander of the Republic military. Oh, yeah. Before the Republic went through a massive reformation and he was also considered for Supreme Chancellor before Tarsus Valorum was elected. For 10 years, the rumors of a hidden Sith Lord plagued his mind. He thought all the Sith, well, actually all the Jedi, thought the Sith had died in the Thought Bomb massacre. So when the rumor was then confirmed, Lord Valentine Farfalla confronted the Sith alongside Jedi Masters Raxta Lasu, Waror Domat, and Sorrow Jaj, as well as his former Padawan and former Master Hoth's Padawan, whom he knighted, Johun Othone. In the battle, all perished.
You're reminding me of that. That was crazy.
Valentine having his limbs slashed away by the sheer strength of Darth Bane himself before being decapitated.
Yep.
His bejeweled lightsaber was taken as a trophy.
Dude, this guy, a bejeweled lightsaber, that's freaking awesome.
Is it?
I thought this guy was going to be super, here are my final thoughts. He kind of reminded me of Count Dooku's upbringing. Wealthy, obsessed with self-image, obsessed with titles, extremely vain, but somehow he was still like a good guy, you know? Like he only wanted to prove that he was a knight. Kind of like Jaime Lannister. You know, Jaime Lannister's kind of like got evil deeds. So not like Prince Farfalla, but he just wants to be good in the mind of the people, you know?
Yeah,
He's
Jamie
selfish.
Lannister has a lot more complicated problems. With
Another fun fact, his spaceship looked like a sailing ship from 18th century Earth.
Here it is.
which is awesome.
It was bedazzled and made from Rocher timber, a wood only found on Kashyyyk. It could hold exactly 300 passengers, and it was armed with 9 double laser cannons. Really convenient for those 300 soldiers that additional Jedi that followed him in battle.
Hey,
Dude.
why is it shaped like a weird ship that would travel on water? Don't worry about it. Here we
And
go.
why is this spaceship made of wood?
It was made with wood, and then they also had to include that it was like protected by deflector shields. I'm like, you think? And then they're like, also, when it's in an atmosphere of a planet, the top deck becomes an open air deck. And I was like, no, really? It's a freaking pirate ship.
Pirate ship?
Can I?
Everyone should look this up because it looks hilarious.
Let me read what I said in my article about it. But what makes him so odd mostly was his ship. When you read the description of Valentine's ship in Darth Bane, you might initially think you misread it. A quick glance at the comics, however, reveals that sure enough, it is actually just a pirate ship in space
Yep, a
Which-
big golden pirate ship.
with a unicorn on the front of it.
Yep.
Which sounds
And flags. that wave.
amazing.
It kind of is. It kind of sort of is. However, when you like put it up against with how serious Darth Bane's story was,
Yeah.
I was like, this is brutal. This is gross. This is disgusting. And I was like, and then this dude,
This centaur who has a sailboat.
yeah, a centaur prince,
Dude.
blonde prince.
But like in Treasure Planet, when they have those,
I do love Treasure
Sails.
Planet.
Oh.
I have no problem with Treasure Planet.
I think it's because they tried to put in Star Wars, and there's already so much there.
You can't have an 18th century Earth reference in Star Wars. I mean, you can have some tiny little hints
Little
of
bit.
Earth.
All right, I'm going to move over to a character that I talked about in that article as well, Mr. Bones.
Mr. Bones.
Now, you said you were listening to?
I got to the Mr. Bones part.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Bones. This is what I said in that article. Here's the long and short of it. Mr. Bones was an old battle droid in the Aftermath books who was repurposed by a kid to cut people apart with knives. The droid laughs and asks, "Am I doing well, Master?" while he does it. And to make matters worse, he is covered in black and red paint and has real bones all over his body. While Mr. Bones is terrifying, the Aftermath books wouldn't be the same without him. So he's a battle droid. His like beak thing was like sharpened to a point as well. He was covered in bones. He was painted, like I said, black and
Did
red.
he himself cover him in bones?
I believe Temin, who created him,
Oh, I
did.
see.
And he had vibroblades and stuff like attached to him.
Jeez.
Yeah,
and-
freaking weird looking.
Yeah, and if you listen to the audiobook version, you can hear his like mechanical, funny voice kind of cackling while he attacks living beings.
That's amazing.
Mr. Bones was built by Temin Wexley, the son of Nora Wexley, after his mother left to fight in the war against the Empire. Temin made him using spare parts that he scavenged from a former separatist factory in Myra City on Akiva. Bones was created to protect the young entrepreneur to keep him safe against gangsters in the underworld of his planet. So Temin is an actual character in the movies. Temin is the Resistance pilot in The Force Awakens, and I believe The Last Jedi as well, with the black beard. He's a famous actor.
Yeah,
From Lost.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know.
That's him grown up.
Huh.
Yeah, so he is in this book, and basically he like is real crafty. So he, in order to like survive and stuff, he would sell stuff to people, and then to protect himself, he made Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones has the look and slight similar joy for pain that Deadpool has. Because of the black and red and like knives and like laughing and making everything a joke. I could see him being put in a film or show. and could see him stealing the show with every frame he is on. I don't know if he would be put in like Resistance, because it seems a little more kid oriented for someone who's covered in bones and has only knives.
And his whole purpose is to murder.
And it's to basically maim.
He reminds me of HK-47.
Yep. And that's I was looking into that, and I believe the person who wrote Mr. Bones was inspired by that.
HK-47. Yeah.
By the idea of.
Do you remember the HK-47 droids from Kotar? Do you ever remember them?
I think you showed me a picture of them because I asked what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super into killing.
They're just like these assassin droids that go around. They're really funny because they just like say stuff. They just call all humans meat bags.
Meat bags, yeah.
That's
they
fun.
Just talk about how they want to kill people all the time.
I mean, was the droid intended to protect this kid
Yeah.
at first? And then he just kind of like went off on a tangent and killed people?
Well, no,
did he-
he was always by Temin, and he would ask him if he could kill people. Like, is it time to maim people yet? Like that.
this thing, master?
Exactly,
That's
that type
funny.
of thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Exactly. I love Mr. Bones. I hope we see him in a more visual sense
Me
at
too.
some point.
That's hilarious.
Do you want to move to one of yours, Johnny?
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna do this one. I'm gonna do Yaddle, which is I don't know if she's in Phantom Menace. Mm-hmm. She's one of the Jedi Council members, the female Yoda, basically.
Audible gasp.
Thank you. She was a Jedi Council member during the late years of the Galactic Republic. She was born 509 BBY, so she's 500 years old. So a spring chicken as far as
Compared to Yoda.
concerned.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I quickly ask? They're siblings, right? Yoda and Yaddle?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. I was
Just
like,
the same species.
man, I thought
Similar
my
names.
gap between me and my brothers was big of an age gap. This is like several century year gap between Yoda and Yaddle.
And it's also kind of like 500 years later, I meet up with her at the same place, and I'm the only human left in the galaxy, and she's the only human left, and her name's Michelle.
Or me with Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor and
Dang it.
Jamie with Johnny.
Jamie!
Hey, what's up? We're the
interesting.
last two.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I hope we're not related.
The origin of the character was the concept art of Ian McCaig was doing a sketch for what young Yoda would look like with like
Hair.
dread and stuff. Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh," George's like, "Oh, just make it a female." So George.
It's so hard to show George anything, isn't it? It's like a child.
I feel like half of the characters that are just background characters were like, "Oh yeah, just do that," and then they have all this backstory.
That would be so awful for me because I have such a dry like humor at work that I'd show him something like fun, like this is obviously a
Look
joke.
how dumb this is.
Exactly.
Hey, George, look at
Hey
my new
George,
character.
look at this. I've been working on it a long time. Oh, I actually really like that. Let's make it a character. We'll call it Jarl Poof. Isn't it funny? I made his neck as long as I possibly could. Oh, I like that. Let's make him a Jedi.
That's good. Put him in Jedi Master. We'll put it in the movie. What?
What? No, please.
Do it or you're fired. Anyway, so at one point she went with her Jedi Master, who was pretty corrupt.
Oh.
So he went to a planet called Koba to kill this guy that the Jedi Master wanted to kill. So she went with him, and he died. And
Who did? The
Master?
the
target?
Master died.
Oh.
And the people who were there, the people who lived on it, caught her and imprisoned her underground for 100 years. It's always like 100 years. I don't know.
100 years?
100 years underground. And then there was like a bunch of earthquakes that happened on Koba. And she got out. And instead of like killing everyone, she's like, I will help you rebuild.
What?
And so she helped them rebuild like their whole society. And then she went back to the Jedi Council after 100 years. And they were all like, you're a Jedi Master. They just made her Jedi Master right there. Except everyone voted to make her Jedi Master except Yoda. Yoda said she shouldn't be.
What? This is the weirdest thing.
Anyway, so
Do you know why?
No, I just said it's like
He's
"What?
racist.
I didn't think you were ready.
Racist.
He didn't want another one. He's like, I'm like the only one.
This is kind of my thing.
But anyway, she was known for her quietness because she doesn't talk, I guess, and then patience and kindness.
You think?
Yeah.
She's
She
pretty
had-
patient and kind.
She had an orange lightsaber.
Oh, good
so
for
one of
her.
the few with an orange lightsaber.
She overcame some anger.
She trained
true.
Thysipian Oporansisis. So you remember the weird guy with the furry guy with the twisty head?
Yeah.
That she trained him. That was her Padawan.
Huh?
Interesting.
For
And
100 years,
and
he was
got-
her Padawan.
Well, she was only 100 years on the council.
She only served 100 years
And
on
then
the go.
after the Battle of Naboo, she stopped being on the council anymore. So they don't. She was no longer on the council when the Clone Wars hit and Order 66 went down. So that I don't really know if
She has great timing.
Well, her 100 years was up.
Actually, no. She died by going on a mission to Mawan with Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin, and they confronted the son of Qui-Gon Jinn's former apprentice Xanatos. So she confronted that, and then she sacrificed herself by like absorbing a bioweapon.
Yep.
And
That's
then
insane.
she died.
Those are from the Apprentice books, I believe.
Yeah.
Really?
She also had two Jedi powers that like no one else had that were really weird. She had one that was called Morochro, which is she can slow the opponent's bodily functions to the point of death. Which is like you want to.
But it takes 100 years.
It takes 100 years. No, but she just like waves her head and then they go. Whoa.
Interesting.
Why did she develop this ability?
Weird. I don't know.
She was practicing in that cave.
Yeah, pretty much thinking about.
All the
killing him.
guards
And
walked by.
And she also had Force Light, which would weaken a Darksider's connection to the Force. So they would like wave their hands or whatever, and then it would make them so they couldn't use the Force anymore.
Is it like so?
Force
It's
Light is the
it's
name.
like Avatar with the eclipse for
Yeah.
Oh,
firebenders,
yeah, yeah.
and also kind of
comet.
like
She t-
keeping with Lord of the Rings. It's like Gandalf when he came back and he's all bright and white, and everyone's like, "Oh God, he's so bright."
Yes, she like waves her hand, and then he's like, "I can't use the Force," and then
I like
There
to
you go.
imagine it's jazz hands she has to do.
she goes,
You can't use the dark
There
side.
you go.
You can't use the dark side.
Not while I got my jazz hands out. And then,
You can't use the dark side anymore.
and then
Oh, I
she
like
just has everyone else swing their lightsabers around.
slash.
Done
She-
deal.
But anyway, yeah, that's Yaddle.
Nice.
Pretty weird
That is weird.
to be on the council. And then just to know the origin is just George going, "Oh yeah, put that there." And then, okay.
What's your next one, Mike?
Oh, let's get back to me.
No,
My next one is Bosch.
Or Bosch.
Or Boosh. Or Boushh.
Or barf.
Barf.
Not
that-
here. That's a Mercedes.
Bosch is best known for not being in any of the movies, but being portrayed by Princess Leia, or posed as. Bosch was the bounty hunter that formerly used the armor that Princess Leia used to infiltrate Jabba's palace. I'm going to read you guys the Legends origin because that's a lot more fun, and then I'll tell you guys the canon stuff at the end.
Cool.
So he was an Ubi's male
Oh, they hate Jedi.
from Uba 4. And his occupation was a bounty hunter and a mercenary. He didn't really have any affiliations with any sort of organization. He liked to be isolated.
AARP.
Yes. What? AARP? What? He did not live to be very old. His weapon of choice was a lance with a shock blade, which, to be honest, is kind of poor. You should have just some blasters.
A lance.
A lance with a shock blade.
I hope someone detects.
He had other weapons in the stories
Okay.
that I read, but like that was apparently his weapon of choice.
But lances are like 12 feet long.
Yeah, and he is not. He is quite short. Bosch was a male Ubiz, a bounty hunter of unknown age who worked as an unaffiliated bounty hunter during the formation of the Empire. He's known for his stoic cool-headedness among brutish peers. His armor was Ubi's, a helmet that enhanced his senses and hid his identity, both his face and his voice. It distorted his voice on purpose. That's not what Ubi's sounds like. The brown, and then it featured brown cloak layers, which were like his Ubi's type of garb.
Right.
It was apparently traditional. He performed several contracts for Crimson Nova, a sect of the Bounty Hunters Guild that specialized in hunting Jedi. He, alongside bounty hunters Zuckuss and Brila, killed the Jedi Kai Justice. As far as I know that's a funny name, isn't it? But as far as I know, that's the only Jedi he successfully hunted. He was known for his love of explosives and his distrust of everyone. Because of this, he made very few friends and colleagues, and the secrecy caused the other bounty hunters to only speculate, and rumors of his affiliation with an elite unit of Ubi's mercenaries, as well as the possibility of him being a philanthropist, were the two main theories of who Bosch truly was.
You know that evil bounty hunter? I bet you he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
The theory
I
was
wonder
that
what he does on the weekends.
people said that all of his bounty money would be sent to other Ubis to like better their lives. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
He's got a gold yacht.
Yeah, in
He's
space.
secretly blonde under that mask. After his work with Crimson Nova, he did contracts for Black Sun on
Oh, I
one
know
mission.
them.
They're evil.
Yep. During a hit on 2 targets on Coruscant, he encountered a Jedi Padawan and his friend instead of the targets. Their duel was interrupted by stormtroopers, though, and they needed to fend them off together before being overwhelmed and captured by the Inquisitor Antennis Tremaine. I don't know who the Inquisitor worked for. I assume the Empire.
Yeah, the Empire.
Who thought he, Bosch, was a fugitive Jedi in disguise. But then when he was unmasked, he was permitted to leave with his life.
Don't you
Very
hate when
generous.
that happens?
Yeah. I got you, Jedi. No, you're just a regular, you're not a disguise.
Yeah, I'm not a Jedi. I use a lance.
I've got this lance.
Oh,
I
that's.
thought it was a lightsaber. Sorry.
My name is Lance.
I don't see many. Yeah, I'm not a Jedi. I'm Lance Armstrong.
After another handful of failed contracts later, Bosch either got desperate or too bold and blackmailed a sympathizer of Black Sun, in addition to demanding extra money after an expensive job. So these proved to be too much for Scizor, the leader of Black Sun at the time, and he had him killed by his own droid in his own ship. Or no, by Scizor's droid, but it was in Bosch's ship.
Was Scizor just a giant pair of sentient scissors?
Yes.
You know what? I hope so. I kind of wish he was. I don't know what race Scizor was.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
look
a
it up.
Pokemon. It's a
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
green-
Scizor is
green
just
Pokemon.
from the second generation. You're right. The droid, Guri was his name.
Scizor is a red Pokemon. You're thinking of Scyther.
Let's move on.
The droid that killed Bosch was the one that gave Princess Leia Bosch's armor to use to sneak onto Coruscant for a separate, unrelated mission. But she chose to keep it and use it on several other missions, assuming the role completely because she knew how to speak Ubis. So she posed as the quote-unquote retired Bosch. So yeah, that's and my final thoughts are he was not a very skilled bounty hunter. Most of his contracts ended in failure, and like no one really wanted to hire him. He had little regard for others. He was very paranoid, and his canon storyline is super boring. Here's how it goes. He was just any other gun for hire. He was ambushed by Leia, Chewie, and Maz Kanata. Maz is the one who stunned him and then told Leia, "You should take his armor so you can help save Han." Like,
Cool.
that was Maz's idea, apparently.
Well, look at that.
Well, what do you know?
Wow, what do you know?
And then one last fun fact, his armor makes an appearance in Lego The Force Awakens video game. Downloadable content.
Nice.
He does have a sweet helmet.
I
love
loved his helmet.
It's
as a
weird
kid.
looking, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I just like the way that Leia spoke through the breathalyzer mask.
You
Well-
have hibernation sickness.
That's what I sound like in the morning.
Yeah, you sound like Bosch.
And when you're
wake
telling
me up.
Megan when she wakes up, she'll have hibernation sickness.
You have hibernation sickness, Megan.
You're just like poking her under the sheets, and she's stuck like
She's
Han.
like, not again.
Yeah. Megan comes out of bed, red on fire.
Yes, she's burning out of bed every morning.
We sleep in carbonite at
You
this
burn
house.
away the layers. Yeah.
You haven't had a night's sleep until you've slept in carbonite.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I have
True.
to say.
Restful.
Did you
a
want to
good
go
slumber.
next, Johnny?
Yeah, I'll go next. We have the guy Luke Skywalker.
The guy.
The guy.
I want to hear about this guy.
Luke Skywalker is a clone of Luke Skywalker.
Oh no.
He was grown from cells extracted from the hand Skywalker lost during the duel with Vader on Cloud City.
Calhoun's face right now is like, what?
The insane clone Jor-Us, who is also a clone of a Jedi, performed a mind trick on one of Admiral Thrawn's subordinates, ordering him to make a special clone from this hand that he found. This clone was mindless and was told to kill Luke Skywalker, Mara Jade, and Leia, to kill all the Skywalkers. It was given a lightsaber that Luke lost. Apparently, it didn't get busted up when it fell.
Or let go.
Yeah, who knows?
Just
Maybe it's
fist.
It's broken. The fall is broken by the hand.
The clone Jedi erased the subordinate's memory so it wouldn't get back to Thrawn. Okay. As you do. So then he created this Luke from a cloning cylinder, and it took 1 month to grow. And he taught it
1 month.
1 month, and he taught it Jedi arts and
In a month.
Yep, and put it under his total control, and made him battle. Pretty stupid. But here's a great thing: Thrawn speculates as to why he has an extra U in his name. And it says, clones created from this certain process have trouble speaking the letter U, so the sound is dragged on longer. That's why Jor-Us's name is Jor-Us and not Joris, like the original Jedi.
Get the heck out of here!
They made Thrawn explain
Say those
that?
words?
Yeah, Timothy Zahn did that.
To who? Who is he speaking to?
Just in general.
Oh, come on.
And then
Tim.
April 1st, 2012. This
Okay.
is like he wrote this originally in 1993, I think. Then in 2012, Timothy Zahn did another one called An Apology, which is just has Luke Skywalker create another clone called Luke Skywalker. That Thrawn tells him to make to go kill the other one.
To go kill the other Luke.
No, to kill Luke Skywalker again.
Oh my God.
Luke.
Luke. Wait, so he wrote that in what?
He wrote that on April Fool's
1st.
Day.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Is,
That's hilarious.
Because Timothy Zahn is
Good
now
old
back.
Tim.
He's just like, oh man, why did I
What a
write
mistake.
that?
What a horrible
But
mistake.
I thought that's a really
That's-
unique character.
Why? So, like, you could name him so many different things.
You could just name him XL1.
Sky Stalker even would be better than
Sky Stalker.
Well,
That's dumb and scary.
And
It's better than Luke.
even, like, not a name like, the Dark Sun, like something like some random, like the other one,
Juke
like some
is even better.
Juke. Juke.
Juke.
Juke Skywalker.
Lance. Could have been Lance.
Lance Skywalker.
Let's- named him Lance.
Let's move over. Lance. Let's move over to the final one here, which is mine. This is the one that is has the preference beforehand. Max Rebo. Everybody knows Max Rebo. He is the elephant dude, the blue elephant guy who's
So
playing in
cool.
Jabba's palace.
Plays the keys.
I'm going to put this out there. Most of this is legends. Max was a male ortolan whose real name was Cerulean Fantali. He was discovered playing music in his local diner by on Orto by Ever Orbis, a Lataki whaler who was looking to exploit young talent. Side note, a whaler is a phrase for someone who specialized in a type of music called jizz. In fact, the name of Evar's band was Evar Orbis and his Galactic Jizz Whalers. That name became canon when it was mentioned in the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Junior novelization released in 2017.
How is it spelled?
Jizz.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was soon after that he formed the Max Rebo Band. Another side note.
Was this George?
In 3 ABY, Ever Orbis was killed by a rival jizz band known as Figrin, Don, and the Modal Nodes. Why? Well, they wanted Evar's sweet gig playing the Mos Eisley Cantina. That's right. Anytime you hear that Cantina song, you know it's being played with blood-stained hands.
Oh my goodness.
Rebo was signed on to work for Jabba at his palace because he would receive unlimited food.
What?
After Jabba's death, Max joined the Rebel Alliance to entertain soldiers. He eventually opened his own chain of restaurants named Max's Flanth House. He became rich and moved to Coruscant. Apparently, behind the scenes, the original design for the character was that Rebo only had 2 feet. What we see of him in the movie was supposed to be his entire body. Those 2 arms were his legs. The character was turned into a normal-ish humanoid when West End Games, who was making a Star Wars game, took the interpretation that Max was sitting or standing inside of an enclosure and gave him an entire body, and he has been that way ever since.
Wow.
So that is Max Rebo.
I need to gather myself after that.
Yeah.
Oh, Max.
First
Rebo.
off, on a serious note, I'm a little disappointed that he went through a redesign. I like the idea that he was on some sort of platform,
Just like a blob.
and just moving his legs around on these keys.
Right. But his
Second of
legs
all-
that looked exactly like arms.
Right. Second of all, I feel like he negotiated a pretty good deal with Jabba, unlimited food for unlimited jizz.
You did need to.
It was like a 1-to-1 jizz
Yes.
to food ratio.
I understand what
for
you're saying.
Max's deal. It's like in the contract, I imagine him saying,
You think they wrote it
I,
down?
Max Rebo, agree to play all the jizz for Jabba the Hutt as long as I am fed
All the food.
all the food.
You know, it's that name very much sounds like it's not jazz.
It's the only thing you could
So
say.
let's pick something different.
Space jazz. So
Literally
what should it be
anything else
called?
would have been better.
And then, like I said, it was put into salad.
A salad. The jizz?
A salad. Yeah. It was put into canon in 2017. No one went, you know what? So we've lost so many things to legends.
Oh, yeah.
You know, from the EU, but somehow jizz has pushed on.
You know what? Jizz finds a way.
That is true.
That's a very good point, actually.
That is biologically true.
But I do want to say about Max Rebo, his character, like the suit and everything, it looks awful. I'm just going to put that out
You
there.
think? You
It
think it
looks
looks
like it
awful?
was made with a blue trash bag over
It
some
does look-
person.
Yeah, it does look a little paper mache-y.
And reading about the actor who had to play that, number one, it was super hot because it's just a guy
Was
inside of a
Was he really attractive? He had a six pack.
yeah,
He was super hot. They put a bag on.
a guy he was
Covered him up.
He was super hot in there because it's giant and it's in Jabba's palace and whatever. He couldn't see anything,
Of course not.
so they put this like earpiece in to give him like instructions and stuff.
my God.
Apparently, it was so loud that he couldn't hear out of that ear for a couple days.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So, and then it was such a big, hefty costume that 2 other people need to do the trunk and the ears and like all the other stuff.
What?
Can you believe, like, and that's what I mean by it doesn't look that great. It's like, that's so much work
For not much payoff.
not much payoff.
It's like 3 shots.
Exactly.
Maybe a couple wide shots.
The person-
That's even worse
just
because
leave it out.
everyone is there and it would take forever.
The person who did that did a bunch of other characters. In Return of the Jedi, though, he more notably was one of the Gamorrean guards.
Okay.
So
Well,
he was
they're
just a random
Yeah.
character actor who was like, hey, you get to be put in the blue
Yeah.
elephant jizz guy.
It's like, why is my call time 8 hours ahead of yours, Jim? I don't know. I'm in the band too. Well, my guy's blue.
And
You should just paint me blue, right? And then they
apparent-
show up like, what is happening?
And
Here's your
apparently
trash bag.
It's so hot in here.
they need a whole hour to shove some type of listening thing deep into my ear canal.
Deep into the canal. Like, I imagine it being just a metal rod that just inserted into his head. and they just like flicked it a few times and the frequency gave him commands.
Wow.
Like, that sounds awful.
That sounds
Well,
amazing.
There you go, guys. That's 6 weird characters.
Yep.
That was, and that's the thing I want to preface, or not preface, but clarify with Max. I was like, Max Rebo, like he's weird.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder what his whole thing was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about all of this stuff that's going on.
Is his real name canon too, or is that Legends?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's homework for you guys.
We'll just say no.
just
yeah.
the fact that.
Let's just give it a hard no on the.
Just the whole thing.
All right, and
I
then
love Max Rebo, to be honest.
I asked our listeners what they thought was the weirdest character. So I guess we will go over to that after this next break.
Also,
Yeah?
if you get a chance, look up Max Rebo on the Robot Chicken because it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
More homework. Hey, guys.
What?
Guys, I need your help down here.
Johnny, get over here. Tyler says he needs help.
I can't help him. He
What?
fell. He has to work this out himself.
Guys,
What do you need help with?
I need your help by following Chatter Squadron on Instagram at Chatter Squadron, all one word.
Oh, on Instagram?
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Yes, get a splint from my leg. I think,
No,
I think it's broken.
in relations to social media.
I have this bone. I can just give you a new bone.
Yeah, if you could come down and give me this new bone and also give us a follow on
Facebook.
On
Facebook page. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, you
right
look
now.
like you're
the name of
bleeding
the
out.
Facebook page?
You're getting real pale. I bet we could probably go to iTunes, rate and subscribe to the show.
Should we give it 5 stars?
We should definitely give it 5 stars. That might help Tyler.
Yeah, give it 5 stars and say, put that bone in, Calhoun.
Let's not say that. Don't say put that bone in Calhoun. Because some people might get the wrong idea.
That wasn't for them to say.
I think Tyler's losing it. Johnny, can you come hold his legs together?
Oh, the Facebook page is Chatter Squadron Podcast. Join our discussion there.
You rest now, sweet prince.
I think I'm going. Let's
Go
go
to
to
this
sleep.
cave.
This isn't a cave. This is my bathroom. I slipped. And now, an update from the World Cup with Mike Calhoun.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. I'm glad you guys were here to hear the news about the new entering team, the new team that entered the World Cup in the elimination stage. Unheard of. But they,
I wouldn't
I
miss
didn't even
this.
know you could do that.
yeah.
I wouldn't miss this update for the World Cup.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys are here for the update. Turns out that team from last week that I did mention has been eliminated. Unfortunately, hats off to them. They were beaten by Belgium 3-0. But a new team has actually emerged this week, believe it or not, another 11 players has made their presence, and they have made it known that they want to compete in the World Cup. It looks to me, they've given me their team sheet here, their roster, and it looks like they're lining up in a 4-3-3 formation.
Of course.
Let's see who's up top. It looks to me that they're based on the original trilogy and the Clone Wars. Okay, then. Yeah, it would seem that is the name of their team. Their name of their team is...
The original trilogy.
Excuse me, it's not. I misspoke the first time. It's prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars. I don't know what that means, but let's get started here. Looks like starting up top as the forward is going to be Anakin Skywalker. Let's read it here. Bad attitude, short temper, thinks he has all the answers. Yeah, I think we found our big personality striker. Even in an embarrassing defeat, he bounces back to crush his opponents, 2 of which have been old men.
Hopefully some of his strikes aren't against younglings.
Let's hope not. Let's hope there's not any rookies on the opposite team.
Exactly.
On the right wing is going to be his apprentice, Ahsoka Tano.
Oh.
Without help, Anakin would just be a less successful, love-struck moron we already know and love. Ahsoka is smart, scrappy, but people underestimate her strength, and she'll be able to keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, these kind of picks we're coming to expect from the PTACW, you know?
The PTACW, huh?
Yeah, the prequel trilogy and Clone Wars team.
Exactly. That's what I'm reading here. All right, on the left wing, we've got CT-7567 Captain Rex.
Ooh.
Every time Anakin turned to ask Snips for assistance and she wasn't there, Rex was there. In fact, Rex was there when Ahsoka was there. And he was there when the 501st needed him, and no one was there. Rex can execute almost the impossible of tasks, which makes him a contender for captain of the squad.
You know what's good about Rex is he doesn't have to have normal-sized arms to play this game.
Yes,
He can have little baby arms.
He can have those little Rex arms.
Because all he needs is those big old legs. Those big old Rex
Those
legs.
big old clone legs.
All right, on the left midfield, we're going to have Padme Skywalker. We need someone that has their own ideas and can take control of a situation, but also lets the more well-equipped members of the team take the front line. Padme has a gentle touch, which is perfect for some magical dribbling and some pinpoint passes.
You know, I hope that this team doesn't lose, or else she'll probably die of sadness.
Oh, I couldn't bear to see that.
Padme, is that Portuguese?
In the center attacking midfield, we've got Yoda. Short he may be, low center of gravity he would have. Perfect for a sneaky attacking midfielder. I think when he gets in behind the defenders or crosses their legs up, it'll be easy to see why he's the most powerful Jedi Master. After all, he's only got one name. He's the closest thing to a Brazilian we've got.
Judge him by his passing skills, do you?
A question, can you play soccer if you're the size of the soccer ball?
You still can. On the right midfield, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
Making a return!
I was about to say, he became a hot free agent immediately.
Who can we all call on with a ton of field experience, works closely with other Jedi and politicians? If Obi-Wan and Yoda are both in the midfield, we might have a one-liner contest on top of the soccer match. As a right back and the defensive line, we've got R2-D2 making another appearance.
Wow.
Despite being a humble droid, there are countless times that R2 has used his wit and force of will to get his friends out of a pickle. We're going to need that on defense. Watching the wings, making sure no one pulls a fast move when everyone else is looking the other way.
I already used my funny quip last week.
Beep boop.
Beep bop.
Left back, the left side of the defense, we've got Mace Windu. Captain of the squad, from the back, finding the literal pathways to victory. There are few on the field that would dare question his plan, and if it's Mace's plan, then it's the most well-prepared one that they have. Don't forget about his 1v1 record. If he's hitting his stride, heads are gonna roll.
Ooh.
And you know, if Anakin gets too crazy and kicks wide too many times, he can tell him to take a seat at the bench, young Skywalker.
Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
bench him.
That's
He's gonna put
happened
him on the
before.
bench. In center back, the tall guys at the back for defense. We've got Coyote Mundi. I have one question for you. If you don't like this pick, you see the size of this guy's head? He's like 2 foot from chin to crown. Get him in the attacking third every set piece. If he doesn't get ahead to the ball, who does?
What about the ball attack on the goalkeeper? That's what I want to know.
This guy's always in the right, the right mindset for this kind of game.
Wow. This guy has a lot of heart. Just so you know, he has a heart on his head.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's what that joke meant.
we
Keep
get
going.
it.
I don't get it.
Right next to him at center back is Plo Koon. Hey, where did that guy with the mask come from? When you least expect it, Plo Koon comes in clutch during crucial moments. You don't always notice that he's there, which is great for if you want your opponent to feel overconfident. If you have a veteran on the field, he'll always provide a wealth of wisdom, and wisdom is always welcome.
You know, he probably has a real good conditioning, just a lot of good breathing going on.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot of selective. What is that? Oxygen.
Yeah.
Reduced oxygen training.
Yeah.
Elevation training.
Ooh,
that's what
I've
he's
heard
doing
of that.
all the time
Perfect
with that
for him.
breathalyzer. And goalkeeper. Finally, we've got Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh,
He saved little Annie from slavery using any means necessary. Is it so hard to believe that a 6'4" meditative master will keep cool under even the greatest pressure? I would normally trust him in any 1v1 situation, but don't underestimate those strong shots straight down the middle. Those can be gut-wrenching.
You know, I could see him for the entire game sitting in a cross-legged position with his eyes closed and then springing up when the ball gets near him.
That would be kind of amazing to watch.
he seems to always know when the ball's getting closer. He always has some sort of bad feeling about it.
Well, this will be exciting, and we'll keep you up to date on all the World Cup news.
Thank the Force. Hey guys, welcome back. We're going over the questions that I posed. No, we're going over the answers to the question that I posed, and the question was, what is the weirdest character in all of Star Wars? Once again, we're going over to the Star Wars Hub, our good friends over there. Eric Gagman says, and before anyone asks, yes, this guy used to exist, and it's Jackson. If you guys remember,
Oh,
Jackson, the space rabbit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was a thing at one point.
Let me see that image again. Does he have a green head?
Yep, green head. He's a green space rabbit.
Oh, okay.
that reminds me of Jackrabbit, that game for the DOS. Do you remember that game?
No.
Yeah, okay.
That's amazing.
You were a green bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Amber Laraway, she says Tan Devo in the Clone Wars TV show, he was very weird looking. I don't know who Tan Devo is.
Me either. I'll have to look these up. I've got one from the Facebook from Tommy Puig. Probably Kreia, he says.
Yes.
Her ability to be cryptic while at the same time tell you how much of a failure you are can be baffling and frustrating. I don't know who Kreia is. Can you tell me?
Kreia is in Sith Lords, KOTOR 2, which Tyler hasn't played yet, so I won't reveal too much. But she is a mentor in some way, and she has a lot of secrets that you can only figure out if you answer certain things a certain way.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Let me throw over to Colin.
Does she look weird, though? Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's
Callan-
like blind and an old woman.
Callan Cochrane also says Kreia over there on the Star Wars Hub.
I can look her up now.
Matt Byers on the Star Wars Hub says the Star Wars haters never understood that species.
They're the weirdest character. Blake Johnson, shout out. He says, Lobot. That dude doesn't ever speak, and his eyes look creepy.
Well, he is, yeah.
Kind of true. There was a lot of love for Lobot, but I always thought Lobot was a little scary.
Oh, that's a little weird.
And now that we've seen those like half there's decraniated creatures. Those are
Yeah,
weird.
I was
Those are
over
weird.
4th of July. I was telling my nieces about those characters because they were asking me about stuff in Star Wars. So
They
I
were in
wanted to
Solo.
I wanted
Did
to
you see?
creep them out, basically.
It's the worst.
Johnny, do you remember who this guy is?
Yeah, that's Ben Clogeneros.
Ben Quageneros is caught up in the
I played so much of that pod racing game. that-
Kevin Healy gave a picture of Ben Quageneros.
Ben Quageneros can't get his pod race started, and then it goes.
And he's just like pounding on the
Yep.
controls.
Christopher Corey Taylor did Lumpy from
God, no.
the Star Wars
Why
holiday
didn't
special.
we think of that, man? When we were watching that, that's the whole time I was obsessed with Lumpy. I was so terrified of Lumpy.
Well,
Grandpa Wookie.
the picture I used as the background for this question is the stir, whip, 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 stir
Yes.
lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So that was my little nod to the holiday special.
All right, we've got Vasily Volkov says Droma, Kreia, Jackson, or Vergeer, leaning crazy philosophical chicken. So there's a crazy philosophical chicken among those four. Man, see, this is good, though, because we asked for the obscure and people gave us the obscure, so I'm about to look these up.
People say Kreia a lot.
Colbosaurus says Jar Jar. That's another one that I was assuming we would get a lot of. OJ ya boy, I love that name. Says, this is on our Instagram. OJ ya boy says Therm Scissor Punch. He was a character in Solo, I believe. Was it Solo?
Scissor
It
Punch?
sounds like a name you make up when you're doing a D&D game.
Oh, Jackson
Yeah.
was just short for Jax, the rabbit, of course. That's what Vasily had mentioned. I'm still looking for that giant, crazy philosophical chicken because, first of all, I love crazy, I love philosophical, and I love chickens. So I'm gonna look this up. But Droma kind of looks like a character from Dragon Ball Z.
Christopher Manchez says probably that thing that sits on Jabba's lap.
Oh, B. Crumb, Scarberless,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Scr-
Something B. Crumb.
creme
Scrumbulous. Scrumptious.
creme brulee, something. Yes, that guy.
Yeah, it's like something Crumb. His last name is Crumb.
Salacious crumb.
Salacious.
Delicious crumb.
Salacious. Here,
Ooh.
Vergeer is the crazy chicken humanoid creature, and he does look weird.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Mark Foss says Dice Ibugan. It's that thing that is an obvious hand puppet from A New Hope.
I
who's
thought it was
talking to the
always
Wolfman.
someone holding up their hand showing the Wolfman something. Like there was a character off screen that was holding up their arm. I never knew that was supposed to be the face of a character.
Yeah.
Tommy Puig on the Facebook page says, "Oh, I forgot about Borgullet. Super weird character.
Borgullet!
Why wasn't it that I felt like it wasn't that weird? Like it still felt Star
It is
Warsy to
weird.
me. Like anything with weird tentacles, I'm like, yeah, that works."
Borgullet, we'll find out.
Here's the last one. That's something I reference all the time. Lies. Every day more lies.
That's great. I need to say that more.
Because
What a great way to play that character.
Because when someone says something, and it's like that's not true.
That's not at all true.
Here's the last one I will say. It's someone doing a GIF saying this guy.
Oh, I hate that.
Another Star Wars holiday special. The guy that was able to drink through the top of his head.
Not just able, preferred. He would pour his drinks into the big ol' opening his head.
He would prefer it through the top of his head. Marcus Bell says that. Also, if you guys see this at some point, where's that liquid going? Where in real life? Like for the
It's
actor.
probably just it's just sitting there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably why he poured so little, because it just sat in his whatever his hair
Thing
cup. There was probably just a cup covered in gross hair. Oh, it's disgusting. And then
I
he had to
love
do
it.
how many takes? They're like, all right, empty my head this time. Oh, it's so gross.
Do you have one more, maybe?
I'll read one more. It's from Robert Huff because he listed a few. Mount Sorrow.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was
Or-
in my article.
Crying.
Mount Sorrow from the cartoon, the Ewoks cartoon.
Yeah.
Or Beldorian the Hut. All things considered, it's really hard to pick. I don't know Beldorian the Hut, but I'm going to look him or her up right now.
Mount Sorrow, for anybody who would like to know, came from the Ewok stuff because they did a whole lot of Ewok media.
Is that a
and
Jedi?
He's a Hut Jedi. But keep going, Tyler. Keep
oh,
talking.
I've seen that. But
What?
He's kind of a gross-looking Jedi.
he Mount Sorrow was a mountain that was crying, and he was basically just a mountain with a face. The end. I hope we see him back in canon at some point,
I like it.
and he creates his own jizz band. If you guys, let me throw this out there. If you guys have skipped to the questions period of the show and don't know why I just said the word jizz band, go back and listen to the discussion portion, and you'll know why that was said. So yeah, what does this hut look like?
Beldorian just looks like a hut with a lightsaber.
Yes.
And in the images, he's fighting other people with lightsabers, but it says he served as a Jedi Knight for 100 years during the founding of the Galactic Empire.
Isn't it interesting
Before the founding.
trying to cover your whole body with one lightsaber, and you're the size of a hut?
You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I think that's a good way to end off, is trying to give people the visual in their head of what a hut would look like holding a lightsaber.
I feel like if people have seen Jabba, they can make an assumption.
Right.
It'd
And
be
if I
really
remember
gross.
from what I've seen, it's just a normal sized lightsaber, right?
It is
Yeah.
regular sized.
So just kind of
I don't know how
sneak
he
up
turns
behind him and just
around.
kind
I
of
was gonna say, that's
slash his tail.
I was gonna say just slowly insert a lightsaber into his slug body.
And it'd be where's the
He makes it
vital
float around
organs
him.
though?
That's a good point. Maybe he's just a bunch of juice.
He
On the inside.
He can move his organs around.
Maybe
Gross.
the size of the organs of a hut. He's like the size of a 4-year-old. All of it's compressed into there, and then the rest is just blob.
It makes me so grossed out.
So many visuals we're giving you
Johnny's
guys,
slowly sinking into the abyss.
and Johnny's sinking into the abyss, and we'll pull him out for next episode, out of the abyss.
Until then.
We're doomed.